Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Sunday, the 3rd of August, 2014. Wanted to jump on here today and give you an update on Tropical Storm Bertha. It is looking a lot better organized than it has over the last several days, though it is still rather messy. Notice that there is some curved banding going on with the cloud structure. The west side kind of drier and weaker, the convection limited to the east side. Still some shear impacting the system as indicated by these clouds moving away instead of just fanning out evenly. That's an indication of shear. We do have this other area of competing convection off to the northwest of Bertha. This is southeast Florida right here. Had this been sitting, maybe over here, moving to the west-northwest, it might have had time to develop into something, though upper-level winds over the southeast United States coastline are not entirely favorable for development right now. Nevertheless, I think that Bertha still has a chance to intensify some. The water temperatures along its path, which should eventually be like this, all these water temperatures in here very warm in the low to mid 80s. So if the upper level winds can assist, it'll A, get out of that dry air environment, and B, it'll be over these warm water temperatures, and it could become a hurricane as it makes that turn, passing comfortably away from Hatteras, Cape Cod, and the Canadian Maritimes. I don't think it'll be a problem. In fact, here is the 3-day forecast track. It should start turning more to the north and northeast with time and stay away from Bermuda, away from Hatteras, away from Cape Cod, and that should bring some decent swells to part of the east coast. So surfers, check out your favorite surf sites and see what the forecast is. We haven't had anything to speak of. Certainly nothing at all last year passed between Hatteras and Bermuda to give the area any decent waves, and this might be an opportunity. Just make sure that you swimmers who are not prepared for such rough surf conditions take that seriously and pay attention to local information from your beach patrol and adhere those warnings. Rip currents and potentially high surf can be a dangerous impact, a side effect, if you will, of tropical cyclones. As I mentioned in the 5-day forecast, not even getting too close to Newfoundland, far enough away to keep Nova Scotia and the Capes here out of the cone of uncertainty, as they call it. The 5-day track cone, a little bit of touch there to southeast Newfoundland, but at this point it would be extratropical in nature and be a larger, more windy type rainmaker than a concentrated, powerful tropical cyclone. So even if it does clip Newfoundland, it wouldn't be too big of an impact. We're also watching the Pacific. This is Hurricane Iselle. This is Invest Area 97E, and we're looking out 72 hours into the future. That, folks, is Hawaii. This is what it looks like at 96 hours, day 4. There's day 5, and you see Iselle will weaken more than likely. Water temperatures over here not as warm as they are over this part of the eastern Pacific. So it should weaken, but it could bring some direct impacts to Hawaii. Heavy rain, windy conditions, rough seas. This could be something to watch. And then 97E expected to develop into a tropical cyclone as well. Here we are at day 6, and finally day 7. You see Iselle moving off what's left of it to the northwest of Hawaii. But here comes this next system not too far south of the Big Island. So we're going to have to watch this, maybe a double-barrel threat to the Hawaiian Islands here over the next 7 days. Tropics very active in the Pacific, a little active in the Atlantic. I expect that we should see more activity later in the month of August and then through September. How active it gets is hard to tell. A lot of dry air, sinking air, and just general hostile conditions in the Atlantic Basin this year. It seems that the majority of the activity, it doesn't seem, it is, in the Pacific. So we'll have to just see if that changes a little bit to give the Atlantic Basin a burst of 2 or 3 storms and maybe a couple of hurricanes. It's just hard to say. You never know. So that is it for me for today. The tropics busy, keeping us active, so thought I'd give you a look at what's going on out there. Again, I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. Check it out sometime if you haven't already. And it's always an honor and a privilege to produce these video updates for you to enjoy on Hurricane Pro and HD. I'll be back tomorrow with a look ahead for the week ahead, and we'll see what's happening with those systems in the Pacific and, of course, the latest on Bertha.